James. First of all, how's this week been? Have you got much sleep from either a football or parenting perspective?
I'll sleep when it's over.
Probably.
Hopefully that's not Saturday at 6 o'clock. Hopefully we're going to continue the journey.
Hopefully, yeah, good approach. How's Danny Rowe doing after last weekend?
Yeah, he's fine. Credit to him really to put the shot on and give it a go. Obviously it didn't work out as we would have wished. But Nathan came on, and it's credit to the staff again for making sure the training's been spot on, and he's been getting the meters and the intensity in the training to come on and perform like that. At the slight age of obviously 39, to perform like that is credit to himself, his professionalism, and also the staff here.
Yep, a mere youngster. I mean, you must be delighted for Nathan, really. Limited opportunities, but such a valuable goal at a valuable time.
Yeah, and he threatened before, didn't he? He had that opportunity on his left foot. Perhaps he could have done better with it. It was a great run. So yeah, overall, his work rate and his work ethic, he deserved that goal, and it's a great goal to get for the club and for himself.
Any other sort of returnees or absentees that we weren't having last weekend?
No, everyone's fine. The training's been really sharp, as you would imagine at this stage of the season. The crunch time training's been really good. It's also been good to have a bit of downtime earlier in the week, and it's really mirrored the week going into Halifax. Sort of downtime, more low-tempo sessions at the start of the week, and then obviously we've cranked up a little bit, ready for what's to be a good game tomorrow.
Great temperament to go to Halifax and to win in such a big game that I imagine felt a bit like a playoff game as well.
Yeah, I think we realised going into the Dagenham game that we've got 5 playoff games really. We have to win those 5 to get promoted. We've won 2. I think we take confidence as well from the performances. One here in front of our own fans for the first time brings its own pressures, because you want to perform and show what you're about to the fan base live for the first time against an informed team. To score late and stay in the game the way we did and dominate the second half against Dagenham was impressive. And I thought it was always going to be a tight affair at Halifax, and it really was. Obviously getting the stats through and my eye backs that up. I think that as the away side we've done enough to win it, and to score under those circumstances, knowing that Bromley have obviously scored. Great credit to the group. Shows good mindset, good mentality, and shows also we've put some good building blocks in place with this group. We're taking 14 forward next year at the moment, so it bodes well for the future.
Lovely moment as well with the fans greeting you back at the Technique Stadium. I suppose that just shows that the reconnection that's been done between the club and the fans and everyone over the course of the last months.
Yeah, it's been a good togetherness, and we need to make sure tomorrow that we take that, that what that badge stands for, what our badge stands for, and that spirit, work ethic and passion. We need that as a minimum tomorrow. And I have no doubts, considering the last 2 performances, that the players can show once again for the 3rd time under pressure that we can perform. And I'm looking forward to the game.
Pleased with the finish to the season, the regular season, James. 13 points from a possible 15. You go into the playoffs in good form.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, but a bit of realism in April when obviously we had inconsistent results. I think the injuries to Hayden and Naquazi hit us a little bit. We obviously brought new recruits in. We changed it in that period, and it takes time for those players to bed in. I think we're seeing the best of Manny now for sure. And obviously Rowe, without his illness on Saturday, performed very well against Dagenham, so scored his 2 goals. So it takes time. People build relationships in training, off the field as well, personal and professional relationships. And I think now they've had a bit of time, 8 weeks, to bed into the environment and the culture we're building here. It bodes well for tomorrow.
Whatever happens from now on, I mean, 6th place for the club is a huge step in the right direction.
It is, and it's all about moving forwards. I always say that upwards and onwards, you have to deal with setbacks along the way, and I think that's the most impressive thing. I think we've had that adversity that I spoke about during the months I've been here. I said it would come. Injuries hit us, obviously the 3 COVID lockdowns, and I've been really impressed with how we've bounced back from those scenarios, the losses, etc. So, yeah, we definitely, it's looking bright for the future, but we don't want to look too far ahead. We're not thinking about anything other than the game on tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We're really focused on Notts County, their strengths, how we think we can hurt them, But most of all, we've got to make sure we stick to our values and our principles of play, which we've worked on now for 6 months since I've been here.
Does it feel like everyone on and off the field at the club is now pulling in the right direction after, like I said, such a difficult 5 years overall, which I know you weren't here for?
Yeah, it seems that way. I can't comment too much on, and I don't want to. That would not be the right thing to do, to comment too much on the past when I haven't been here and I haven't seen it firsthand. All I can comment on is, since I've been here, that the board have been first class. Been really a pleasure working with them. I'm looking forward to the future with them. That's why I signed the extension. Really developing as a young manager here, so I'm really, really pleased to come into work every day. I think the players that have come in are showing, they're matching up to the badge and what the support base stand for. Like I said, passion, spirit, work ethic. But when I first walked in the building, I wanted to inspire everybody with what we're doing on the pitch. Actions speak louder than words. And then want to progress that inspiration with our philosophy, how we're going to play. Can we be on the front foot? Can we influence it? Can we get more shots than the opposition on goal? Can we play on the front foot with an intensity? Because that's what the support base want when you're paying for your tickets and entertainment business. And then lastly, can we achieve? So this last bit now, this season, if you look at those three prongs, if you like, we have inspired. People are together and pulling in the same direction and on that journey to the common goal, which is promotion. Can we progress it? Can we progress our playing principles, how we play? Can we bring better individuals into the building? We've done that. Credit to the board for backing me on that. And lastly, now it's what can we achieve? If you look at it, is sixth place an achievement? Not really. It's a step in the right direction, but we haven't achieved anything. It's about promotion, and that's all we're focused on here.
You've already won once at Meadow Lane this season. What can you take from that experience, if anything?
Well, it shows we can do it there, for sure. There's no fans in there. That's going to have obviously a part to play. The officials are going to need to be strong tomorrow, which I have no doubt they will be. It needs to be a level playing field on the pitch, which I'm sure it will be. Secondly, the managers changed. They've changed their way of playing a little bit. They're obviously shorter passes, shorter build-ups, a little bit more rotation in there, but nothing we can't handle, I'm sure, on the day. And we're just really looking forward to getting going.
Yeah, how do you feel that Notts County sort of match up against yourselves and the kind of game that we're likely to see?
Well, they're a technical team, and considering our pass percentages and how many passes we're making in the game, mostly in the mid and attacking thirds, which show that we've got the territory in games. That's the most important thing. Are we in ball position to score? I'm sure that they'll try and dictate their principles on the game as well. So I expect an open game, a technical game, and probably a fast and furious game considering the fans are in. It's a playoff game. Winner takes all, clearly, and goes into the next stage of the playoffs. So it's going to be a tense, intensive game, I would imagine. And I'm looking forward to it. And it's a good benchmark for how far we've developed as a group. We're obviously taking a large majority of this group forward to next season. It's a great test for us. And, really, no one expected obviously us to be here, but we don't want the opportunity to pass us.
How important is a bit of experience at this stage of the season? They've got likes of Michael Doyle and Jim O'Brien that have sort of been there, seen it and done it, but you've also got some people with some know-how going into the game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, both sets of squads have got experience running through it, EFL experience, title-winning experience, playoff experience. So that should add to the occasion. I don't think both sets of squads will be overawed at all. I think it will be a good game for the neutral. But also, hopefully, I can lean on the experience of being in this stage. This is my third time in 5 years at this level now. So hopefully I can bring that extra 1% to the group if I can. And we're going in with high spirits, and we're expecting to win the game. We want to go and win the game. We're not going there for anything other than winning it in 90 minutes. I'm sure that'll be the same for Notts County.
I mean, it's only 9 months since Notts County lost in the playoff final. Do you think that could still be on their minds or serve as a bit of motivation for them?
It could work both ways. I'm not prepared to speculate on that. I don't know the players well enough or the manager well enough. So for me, it would be just a throwaway comment. I'm not prepared to do that. But yeah, they lost obviously last year. But this is a different campaign. It's thrown out so much adversity and different challenges for every club in this division. with no fans being in, with the COVID, etc. So it's been a challenging year for everybody, I would say. But now it's one that can end in glory.
Do you feel there's more pressure on them, though, this weekend, James, given they've been around the sort of top end of the division since they came down, and Chesterfield have had to come from the depths and the disappointments of the last few seasons and the start to this one?
Well, I've got no doubts at the start of this campaign, both clubs with the heritage, the backing and the fan base would expect to be at the top end of the division. Obviously, it didn't work out for Chesterfield that way at the start of this season. That's why I'm sitting here. So, both teams, are under pressure, obviously, to win the game. Probably in front of their own fans, they need to perform to that level to keep them on board, for sure. And they're going to go out all out for the win. I have no doubts about that. But again, it'll be me speculating. Let's see how they handle the pressure. We're also under pressure because we don't want the opportunity to pass us. So it's a game when it takes all, as I said, high stakes on TV. Hopefully we can perform better than what we did at Hartlepool. But the outliers are less. We haven't got an opponent that hasn't played in 2 weeks. We've got obviously some key leaders back into the team. So hopefully we'll give a different account of ourselves this time around.
No way fans again. I mean, just how much of a blow is that for the Chesterfield supporters? It's been a tough year. They've had a little taste of a game the other week, but to miss out on a playoff game after everything they've been through seems very tough.
It is tough, isn't it? I really feel sorry for our fan base because they deserve to be there, the ones that could have been lucky enough to get tickets. But that's where we've got to play our part. We've got to take the spirit of the club onto the pitch, onto the field of play, and play with that spirit. And for sure, I have no doubts that we'll do that.
Because you've shown you can deal with it now. We were going to Halifax last weekend and everything else. I mean, that must give you something for the players to draw off as an experience from last weekend. Yeah,
I also think that the fact that we scored late in both those games show that we've stuck to the task. And we've continued the self-belief to do it. Tomorrow, I believe, it will be a little bit more raucous. There's obviously probably treble the fans in there as well. But I'm sure if we influence the way we want to, we stay focused on the game, don't play the occasion, play the game. We've always got to play the game, take the emotion out of it, then I'm sure we'll stand us in good stead.
How excited are you for this one, James?
I am. It's a benchmark for where we are. These are the games you want to be involved in as a manager and as a player. And if you're not excited, ready to get going, then you're probably in the wrong game. I said it last week and I'll say it again this week.
Good man. Good luck. And
thanks, Adam.
Good man.
Top man. Thank you.
Good morning, James.
How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. Both Liam Mandeville and Jack Clark impressed in last week's win at Halifax. Have they given you some food for thought going into tomorrow then?
Yeah, as you know, we've changed our shape and personnel regularly through the season, depending on the opponent and where we think, my management staff think that we can hurt the opposition, best contain the opposition, especially away from home. Obviously, Nathan came on and done very well as well. We won there with 2 centre forwards in the past, so let's see how we set up tomorrow. We've got options, so I need to have a good think about how we're going to set up and outline that today in training.
And obviously, Nathan Tyson was the match winner last week. Has he put himself in contention for a starting place?
Well, someone of Nathan's experience and ilk, pedigree, will always put himself in contention to play in a team of mine. It just depends how we think best to set up and how we think the game will go. So, yes, of course, he's in contention, but let's see what the starting lineup is tomorrow.
When it comes to the playoffs, everybody always talks about form. How important do you think form is going into the playoffs?
Well, my first experience of the National League playoffs, I think we'd lost 1 in 23 at Aldershot, so we didn't perform too well against Tranmere in the first leg, better in the second leg. So, yes, you could look at it that way, but I think it can come down to the smallest margins on the evening. You've got to take your moments. When your moments arise, you've got to take them. And it could be the smallest detail that gets you through on the evening. So focus and concentration, self-belief is massive.
And last week you spoke about the courage and the bravery that the team showed, particularly in the second half. How much are you going to have to dig deep again and rely on those qualities tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a given, isn't it, at this stage? You know, if you're in the playoffs at this level or the levels above, you know, it comes down to some good teams. Whoever is successful in this playoff campaign, especially with the 6 teams that are in there with 5 ex-league clubs, with heritage all themselves and their own objectives and targets. I think that it's going to take a good team to win it. So hopefully we can be that team, but we're not looking too far ahead. It's Notts County now, they're in our eye line. How can we overcome that opponent the best we can? But also we want to do it our way. We want to make sure we play our way and see how far we've come in 6 months.
And you'll be allowed to make an extra substitute tomorrow if it does go into extra time. Is it still a bit baffling that you're only allowed 5 players on the bench?
I've said this, haven't I, for months. It's crazy, really, but that's what it is. We can't change that. I do think it needs to be looked at and reviewed in the summer, especially if we're calling ourselves an elite league. You know, the Saturday, Tuesday games, it's relentless, and the travel, it's a national league. So the recovery, etc., after Saturday games, especially if you go Saturday, Tuesday for 2 months solid, which we did, obviously February, March, going into April. It really affected us because obviously we picked up injuries and tiredness, etc. So 7 subs helps because you can vary what you're doing. Obviously you want to carry bigger squads as well, and it's harsh sometimes that players don't get on the bench when they've done nothing wrong, they've trained properly, and you've only got 5 subs. Plus you can't put a goalie on the bench because if you do, then you've only got actually 4 outfield subs, which really affects it. So I think it needs to be reviewed. Whether it is or not, it's out of my control, but in my opinion, certainly we've moved on from 5 subs, haven't we, in the last decade.
Have you been practicing penalties?
Yes, of course. You want to prepare it best you can. It'd be foolish of us not to have, because it can go down to penalties ultimately, and there's not a lot between the 2 teams. Both teams have got good qualities, both teams have been in good form, so if it does go to penalties, you want to be best prepared.
Just one final one, is Cairo Mitchell on international duty now, and is that him obviously ruled out for the playoffs then?
No, because he comes back on the 9th of June, so actually if we actually get through this stage, he does come back into contention. We'll see how he comes back from the travel if we do get through from Notts County, but I'm not prepared to comment too much and look beyond Notts County because that would be wrong. We have to fully respect our next opponent, which we have done along the way and served us in good stead. So yeah, massive game tomorrow, but one we can enjoy. We've got to enjoy the moment. This is where you want to be. This is why you're an elite sportsman or an elite manager or whatever we're doing. We train every day for this. We work hard for this. We put principles of play in place for these type of games. And when the pressure's on, like it is tomorrow in front of a home crowd, how strong are we going to be? Can we actually get it down and play? And can we play with the variation that we have been doing to create openings and ball positions to score?